Hi YouTube. So today is my very first day with Invisalign, and I wanted to share with you guys the process as it happened for me, and let you know how it feels, what it's like for me personally. So if you're researching Invisalign, or if you're trying to look into that sort of thing, it gives you a little bit more information just to see another story of what exactly is going on. So as I said, this is day one. I actually went to my dentist after work today. And I was there for about an hour for my very first Invisalign appointment. I got my impression done a couple of weeks ago, and that took probably about an hour, hour and a half. I think they got me done in like an hour. But the Invisalign consultation, the actual setup of Invisalign, is where they take impressions of your teeth, and they're very detailed, they have to be basically perfect impressions, because those impressions are used by the Invisalign team to create your entire Invisalign process. So they make 3D images basically of your teeth based off of this impression, which is why it has to be A grade or basically perfect. And then after that, it takes them about a month to set up your treatment plan. For me specifically, I'm going to have 27 trays. You get 2 trays a month, so you wear your trays for 2 weeks. So for me, it'll be about a year, a little over a year, to get through the entire Invisalign process. And I'm pretty stoked about it. This is my very first tray. As I said, I went to the dentist today right after work, and it took me about an hour to put the buttons on. The buttons are the actual like nubbins that they put on your teeth that you can rarely see, but they're basically just I don't know, keyholds or handholds for the actual Invisalign trays to actually pull your teeth and move them around as necessary. So they put on a couple buttons on your teeth. For me specifically, I have several on top and then only like 3 or 4 on the bottom. And that process probably took up the majority of the appointment, was setting or pumicing the teeth at first to give it a rough edge, then etching the teeth is what she said. And then the next step was actually cementing the buttons down, according to the Invisalign trays that I have. So for me, everyone's custom, because all your teeth are different, duh. So for me, yeah, I have a lot of buttons, but you may have less, you may have more. It's completely up to your Invisalign process. So after the buttons were set, they had to grind gaps in between my teeth on the bottom, because my teeth on the bottom were rather crowded, and they still are, obviously. But in order for the Invisalign to work better, as well as to avoid crowding at the end of the process, they ground down my bottom teeth from canine to canine, and they only ground it down 0.5 millimeters, so it's a very insignificant amount, but obviously for me it's very different. And again, that reason is so the Invisalign trays can actually get in there, get in between the teeth and move them around and rotate them as much as necessary. And then also at the end, once my teeth are all lined up the way they're supposed to be, those teeth won't be crowded any longer, and they won't be fighting for the space. So after that, they had me set the trays for the first time, and then I actually had to remove them as well, because they wanted to make sure that I knew how, or that I was capable of putting in the trays and taking them out by myself, obviously, because I'm not going to have my dentist following me around to put my trays in for me. And the process is really hard at first, because you're worried you're going to break it, you're worried you're going to break the buttons off or anything like that. And they said that is a normal thing. Trays shouldn't break. You should be taking care of your trays, but the buttons will break off, especially in the first half of your process. So for the first, however many months, you're going to have your buttons popping off. You could have buttons popping off once a week, simply because your teeth are very set and they're very hesitant to move. So these buttons are trying to pull these teeth out of place and like move them along. But as you hit the halfway point and on, your teeth are going to be more pliable. They're going to be moving a little bit easier, so your buttons shouldn't be popping off as much. And if a button does pop off, it's not a huge deal. You just go to the dentist and say, "Hey, a button popped off. Can you put it back on for me?" Okay, thanks, bye. So yeah, every month I'll be getting 2 new trays. This month I got my first one as well as my second one. And they said to keep your trays. So they give you these like little Ziploc bags basically. But you don't Ziploc them closed. You just put it in the bag and then kind of store it away somewhere where it won't get destroyed or, moldy or gross. Because what happens basically is if you lose a tray or if something goes wrong along the process, they want you to still have a backup tray. So for this tray 1, if anything happens to it, I'm kind of screwed. But when I go to tray 2, if something happens with tray 2, I'll still have tray 1 available to fall back on and put in while I'm waiting for, you know, tray 2 to be fixed or to move on to tray 3 or that sort of thing. So anyway, what else? Obviously, every time you eat, you have to brush your teeth before, or you have to take out your Invisalign to eat. You have to brush your teeth, and then probably floss is best. They also say to clean out your trays in between. So before you pop it back in, just give it like a good wipe down or anything like that. Run it under some water, that sort of thing. And then you're supposed to wear the Invisalign the rest of the day. So actually, they give you a little tray to hold your Invisalign in. So this is like a little, I don't know, to go for my Invisalign. And inside it even says optimal use, or optimal wear is 22 hours a day. So the majority of the day you're wearing Invisalign. And for me personally, I have a huge gap in between my teeth. So that was my big question, was how are they going to handle my gap? They're going to obviously resolve it with moving the teeth around. But the actual trays, I'll show you. There is plastic in between my teeth. You can't really see right there. But there's plastic there. So I think it's noticeable more so than maybe other people because I have a huge gap between my teeth and there is plastic in between my teeth in the tray. But otherwise, this would be basically invisible. If I was like conversation distance away from you, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that I had Invisalign in. But I wanted to put them in, show you guys what they actually look like. So I'll show you my teeth before and I'll show you my teeth after with the Invisalign trays in. As I said, this is still day 1 for me, so it's still very new. But there's no pain so far. I thought there would be pain with the actual grinding in between my teeth. There wasn't. I thought there would be pain with the tray in. There isn't. There is like a pressure, like you know something's in your mouth, but after a little while you get used to it. And another thing I heard is that there would be rough edges along your gum line, especially on the Invisalign trays. There isn't on this one. I'm assuming that all trays are different, so there may be rough edges on other trays. But on this one, for me, I haven't had an issue at all. I know the tray's there and I can feel it kind of pulling away from my teeth a little bit. But there's no rough edges and nothing's hurting my mouth or like hurting my gums or anything like that. I have specifically very sensitive gums. And so that was my main concern as well, was, is this going to be ripping up my gums like other braces would, or is it going to be ripping up my mouth like other braces would? No. So far, it's no problem whatsoever. It just makes me sound kind of funny. It gives you a bit of a lisp for your first week or so. But it's really simple. This is actually probably my 3rd time popping my trays in since getting them, and it's getting significantly easier every time, and it's less intrusive. I don't really notice it as much. But I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in, just so you can see. So here's the before. I'll give you a little shot of just my teeth as normal with the little buttons on. That's my teeth. That's what they look like. They look like teeth. Isn't that exciting? I know. You're watching a video about teeth. Yeah. So when you put them in, you're not supposed to bite down on them. You're supposed to basically slide them in and then push them up with your fingers. So I'll show you that. And over time, it gets easier. Again, this is like the 3rd time I've put them in, so it's a lot easier every time. The bottom ones are a little bit harder though. Oh. These look kind of weird when you're popping them in. So I do have a little bit of a lisp when I have my Invisalign in. And I'll let you see it close up so you can see the actual difference for me. So I think it's not completely invisible. I mean, you can tell there's plastic in between my teeth. But my dentist even said, you know, don't tell people. They probably won't notice. Because conversation distance, it's probably not going to be enough to notice. Especially because I'm not like, hi guys, why don't you want to talk to me? I'm not like that in conversation. I'm just, you know, normal lips, whatever. I'm not, hello, come look at my plastic between my teeth or anything like that. So, yeah, that's really it, guys. They feel kind of weird at first. You get used to it over time. I'm sure tomorrow I'll be in a little bit of pain. Maybe the day after I'll be in pain. But right now I have no pain whatsoever. They said to use just ibuprofen or like, you know, salt water mouthwash if you have any pain or any swelling or anything like that. But so far, it's not bad at all. So yeah, that's it. That's Invisalign for me. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below. I know a lot of people have, or a couple of people already commented saying, you know, their Invisalign was really tedious and really cumbersome for them because they hated taking it out to eat because they would snack throughout the day and that sort of thing. And that probably will be cumbersome at first, but I think that'll be easy to get used to. But let me know in your comments down below, how is your Invisalign? Is it any more painful for you? Is there a different process to begin with? I think it's pretty standard to begin with. I had a little bit of crowding, so that's why they ground down my teeth a little. But other than that, nothing really had to happen other than the buttons. But yeah, feel free to let me know if you have any questions down below that I can also address. And subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. I'm going to post videos every day throughout the rest of the month. And hopefully this lisp will go away. We don't know. We'll find out. Okay, bye guys. Thank you for watching. See you later.